what you don't know won't kill you. Coach Mayzy is laughing. Coach, you tell us why you're laughing, but let me read some of the messages, some of the other things that have come in. So a message here, I think this is Mrs. Umeza. It says, what you don't know can kill you. If your partner is cheating and you don't know but brings STD, will it not kill you? That's the response. Someone says, okay, Chima from Apo says, I don't agree with this statement that what you don't know won't kill you. It is what you don't know that kills you. In medicine, you are told to know your health status. The enemy you know is better than a saint you don't know. It is better to know the person dating your friend, husband, or wife than to be ignorant of it. It is more dangerous if you don't know. Okay, I have, I think, this is a voice note. Let's see. I hope this is on topic. Let's take a listen.
Good evening, Auntie Somi. I was listening to the program. Actually, I know you guys are talking about a relationship with your partner, whether you caught your partner cheating on you. Can you be able to open up to her or him? So I was saying that, there is some partner that you can have, you can open up. Some, when you open up to them, the relationship is broken or the marriage is scattered. So once you know your partner very well, if you can keep it to yourself that your conscience is not judging you, you keep it. Meanwhile, you realize that what you did is not good. You have to change from it. Not that you keep it and keep on doing it.
Thank you.
Realize that what you are doing is wrong. You have to repent from it. Then you keep it for the sake of your family or your relationship to be broken.
Okay.
So it's less for me to talk about it is better.
Okay.
That will happen so that let everything be sorted.
All right, then. Thank you so much. I like the fact that he provided a bit more perspective to that by saying, okay, so for example, you're thinking, it depends on the kind of partner. And I believe this is an element that Coach M even addressed last week. It depends on the kind of partner. And some of you have also said it depends on the kind of partner you have. Now, the problem with that statement, I think, is why I'm happy that he provided perspective, because some people will say, my partner is not mature enough to handle it. And then depending on what the secret is, because someone also said last time, it can't always be cheating. Depending on what the secret is, may decide to continue to enable environments where such a thing that they're doing, that they're keeping a secret, can thrive. Okay? But it may not be cheating. So there are other kinds of secrets that people keep. And we're addressing it today. But let's let Coach Mayzy jump in on the conversation. But I want him to let me know if it's a myth or a fact, that statement, what you don't know can kill you. Because I think what some people don't realize is that if you answer in the affirmative and say what you don't know cannot kill you, because that was the statement, and then you go ahead to say that there are some secrets you should keep from your partner, then you have contradicted yourself. Or is it just me? Some people didn't realize that. So when you're saying that what you don't know won't kill you, and then you are, how would I put it now? You are agreeing that ignorance is bliss, because that's another way some people put it. You are agreeing that ignorance is bliss, but then you don't want a scenario where in your household between you and your partner that there are situations that you'll be ignorant of. Do you see the contradiction there? So if you say that indeed, what I don't disagree with the statement that what I do. If you say what I don't know is a thing that will kill me, then you should be in support in a way of not keeping secrets from your partner. But let's let the coach jump in on this. It was tricky, but let's talk, Coach. Good evening once again. Thank you for being here.
Good evening.
Yes.
Thank you very much. You have a way of bringing out these very interesting topics, and but I like it because they're real life issues, they're real life stuff. The first thing I would say to that. Truth or myth?
Yeah, myth or fact? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Truth or fact? Yeah, is or myth or fact? Right?
Yes.
Is it's important people learn to interrogate some of the beliefs, proverbs, sayings, that they have become familiar with as they're growing up. It's good at some point you just begin to interrogate some of those things. What does it really mean? Is it really true? And the reason I'm saying that is because when you interrogate that statement, you would agree that there are 1,001 examples of ways that what a person does not know can actually kill them. So on what basis was that statement now held? You'll discover that it was going to be a very, very subjective issue. All right. So maybe there was a particular context within certain environments where someone made that statement and it was like, wisdom, words of the wise, But when you expand it to general life, it does not apply. In fact, ignorance has more chance of killing people than they know. So please, just if anybody is thinking that what you don't know cannot hurt you, please, it can hurt you. It can hurt you really bad. All right. So I just want to establish that. So the point is interrogate some of these things so that you're able to come up with your own answers and not just hold on to popular opinions and stuff like that. Okay, that's all I'll say for now.
That's all you say?
More questions.
Okay.
For now, on that truth,
myth or fact?
Myth and fact.
Yes.
Myth or fact. Yeah.
That's all. Okay.
Unless you want me to give examples and go on and on.
No, I mean, so I try to provide a little bit of context because context is key when we're having lots of these conversations, right? And I just thought if you can apply it in general, that's if you, depending on what side you are, whether you believe it or you don't believe it, if you can apply it in general, then what makes it different from the relationships that you're having? Because some people actually, and that's why I think I got from some of the responses, some people can apply it in general, but when it comes to relationships, it's different for them. Do you understand? I shared a story before you came on about a woman who found out that her colleague was poisoning her, and it took a medical checkup for her to realize what was going on. Meanwhile, this thing had been on for months even. And her colleague was systematically poisoning her. And I said, when I first of all raised the statement for myth or fact, that just from that story alone, then you know that when you agree that what you don't know won't kill you, you're doing yourself a bit of a disservice, because I just gave you a story in real life. And if this woman had not, been sensitive to the way her body was feeling, she will have died eventually because her colleague was systematically poisoning her. Do you understand what I mean? But I throw it into I throw it in sort of like in a tricky kind of way, because I've realized that even when people do believe that what you don't know can kill you, they might want to take a different approach with that saying when it comes to their relationships. Because a lot of the time, when you hear it, where it is mainly propagated is when it comes to relationships between men and women. So let's get into that proper for today. I like the fact that you said interrogate, because it's key. If you can believe it in general sense, then why are you not pushing that narrative when it comes to your relationship? Yeah. So let's talk about it. Secrets in marriages. Should couples, husband and wife, when we started talking last week, we delved a lot around the issues with people who are planning to get married to each other. And that will also bring us to our conversation for next week, which is knowing the exact kinds of questions to ask so that you are not blindsided or you're not going into a situation where you're stuck with a partner. And a lot of people have said, and I respect that very much, is you need to know. It is when you know that you know what you can say and what you cannot say. But I guess the world we live in these days, a lot of people either don't know what to ask, and so they're going into these things and they're finding themselves in situations where at the end of the day, when the secret does come to light, it will hurt them. It's not a question of whether it will hurt them. It's a question of when it will, whether it is, depending on how long it is kept for or not. But you're the expert on this, and I'm sure you've had conversations with a number of couples. Let's talk generally about secrets between a husband and a wife. Should there be? Should there not be? And what are the circumstances around either of those responses?
Okay. All right, thank you very much. So, secrets. First of all, a secret is something that is meant to be hidden. All right? Something that is kept unknown and perhaps is meant to be kept unknown. All right. So the question then becomes, what is a relationship if the two people in it are not able to share on matters that affect their lives together, right? So a relationship is not healthy if the two people in it cannot trust and be open to themselves, right? One thing I did say last week is the fact that wisdom demands that you're able to, as it were, graduate your level of openness with your partner until you're able to ascertain that first, their intents and purposes towards you are true and real and correct, right? And then that they have the capacity and the maturity to handle that piece of information which you want to share. All right. And then I also said that while we are emphasizing the need for openness and honesty and transparency, was it here we had one conversation about honesty and transparency one time? Okay, I'll get to it later.
Okay.
So it's important that these things are there. Howbeit, it is also important that wisdom moderates how you present this information to your partner. So now the question is, are there things that should be kept unknown? Or should every little and big issue of your life or area of your life be exposed to your partner? For that one, again, I say let wisdom guide you. Why? Because
you're not going to get off that easy, coach. So
no.
You're not going to get off that easy, coach. Let me land. Okay. Oh no, go ahead. Do land, please. Land.
So
land.
Remember I said that it's important to even understand whether or not this thing you want to be open about is relevant to the context of your relationship and marriage. Is it relevant? Does it have a potential impact directly on yourself or your partner or the marriage? Do you understand? If you're able to evaluate that and you do not see a direct correlation between that event or that information, right, and where you are going to as a couple, it may be important to leave it out until, if necessary, at some point in the future. Okay, so let me hear what you have to say before I continue.
Okay. So here's what I think. I think that we need to understand, perhaps, that there might be difference between secrets and maintaining privacy in a relationship.
Good enough. I was going to come there.
Good. Yeah. Yes. So I think if we're able to distinguish between the two, then we understand what does bear telling and what does not. I think because when it comes to these issues, I think there is room for privacy in a relationship. But when you're talking about things that have to do with privacy, some people have gone ahead to say privacy, having, some private moments and some private things in your things that you keep private is different from keeping secrets. Some people have gone ahead to say that on issues of privacy does not mean that you're being dishonest. You are withholding information, but you're not being dishonest, as opposed to secrecy, which is just you basically being dishonest. Some people have also gone ahead to say with issues of privacy, you're not violating your partner's trust. Once that thing that you're keeping private is violating your partner's trust, then it is secrecy and it is a problem. Some people have also said privacy also has to do with being unobserved and alone. So as a man, you might want to have your private moments. For some men, they do that. They do that in the restroom. For some men, they have a separate room for that. I mean, when we had conversations about separate bedrooms. Okay, you were not here when we had that. We had conversations about separate bedrooms, and I could hear from some people's explanations that sometimes it's not because they don't want to be with their wife. Sometimes you just want a little alone time. So that's, for me, it's a privacy thing, right? Where you're unobserved, you're alone, but you are not intentionally hiding from your partner or misleading your partner. Privacy has also been described as being not disruptive or harmful. Secrets or scenarios where secrecy plays in are the opposite. And privacy is said to be healthy, while secrets are said to be toxic. So, I don't know. You said you were going to come to that. Perhaps we should just come to that right now. If we're talking about it, what are the clear differences so that we're not mistaking the two, and we're understanding what is healthy and what is not?
Yeah, I like the distinguishing you did there. That was really good. So you see, part of my work here is to also elicit thinking and involve people in the process, right? So the question is, why do people want to keep secrets from their partners? What occasions for secrets to be kept? Because you see two people, they profess undying love to each other. I will do anything for you. I will cross the oceans. I will swallow grenade for you, right? But then, why do they feel like, this particular area, don't go there, oh. I give you my all, but not my secret. What makes that happen, right? And let's think through it and come up with some answers.
I have one. Yeah.
What do you say?
I have one. That's the one that a lot of people have mentioned already. You said it depends on how emotionally mature the partner is.
Very true. So at that time, sometimes there's the fear of judgment. All right. If I tell this person this now, they will now say that. I remember one video I saw online. These two would-be couple were discussing. And then the guy asked each other, I think the question they were to answer at that point was what their respective body counts were. All right. Man said, and he couldn't put a number to it, but maybe somewhere in the 20s or so. And then girl said she had 4 body counts. And man was really livid about those 4 body counts. Really? You did that? And she's like, hey, that was in my past. That was before I met you. Why is my 4 more important than your 10s, right? Or 20s, right? Why is that, So sometimes you see that kind of thing where, why are you making me look like a bad person? Why are you turning it against me at this point, right? Fear of judgment, that fear of conflict is one of the reasons some people think that this matter, let me leave it all.
So Coach M,
if this one here,
I like the example you gave, but also from the example you gave, that couple was clearly not married. I'm talking about a couple that is married. So a couple that is married are way past the conversation of body counts.
Oh yes.
So when we are talking about a couple that is married, as we have seen. Over time, there are some key things that we know that, okay, these are things that maybe some people keep as secrets. It could be issues with work or at work. It could be a problem of money, finances. It could be lying about how you spend those finances. For example, we've had scenarios where women have been discovered to build houses and their husbands did not know, and vice versa. So we're having the conversation around a couple that is married. So what possible kinds of secrets can they be keeping because of fear of judgment from their partner?
Yes. Oh, yes. It's also possible. It's also possible that there's that fear of judgment. All right. It's also possible that it's personal shame or guilt. How do I own up to the fact that I blew up this opportunity, something my wife has been expecting? She invested so much faith in me for this process. And then maybe there was an investment opportunity. You took your savings family savings, everything together. How do you explain that all that money, you blew it up? And then you keep coming up with one lie or the other. The market is down right now. What we are doing is we start speaking grammar. Why? Many times straight.
You see this particular you see this particular instance that you gave just now.
Yeah.
You must have thinker. So we're having this conversation because I guess for families, for couples who are married, there's a foundational lack of trust. There's a foundational lack of, sometimes it's understanding, I think. And sometimes it's just that we don't see our spouses or our partners as our better half, if for lack of another term. The woman is not viewing her husband with a certain level of trust when it comes to responsibility and how he can handle it and emotional maturity. The man is not viewing his wife, because this instance that you gave now, you took money, you went to go and blow it an investment opportunity. How are you married to somebody that you can't even have a conversation around to sort of, even if you don't want to open up, say you want to surprise her because, you want it to be that when the team blows, it blows big, and then you come and say, oh, baby, take his right. But there's a way you should be able to gauge from the response, from the wife that you married, you're able to gauge a certain level of response to know whether to do that thing or not. Because you must be able to come out and explain when the time comes. But let me just leave you thinking on that a little bit, because we need to go on a quick break. We'll be right back, Coach M.
Everyone wants it. That liquid gold from the beer worthy of the name. Brewed for
Audio Jungle.
Connection established.
Welcome back. We're on the couch at this time, 10:30 p.m. That means we still have about 45 minutes on this conversation, and we'd very much like for you to join in. So just in case you're just joining in, we have been talking about secrets in marriages. Should married couples keep secrets from each other? We have, touched on a number of angles on this conversation, and we're hoping that you can join us as well. So please feel free to call us up on 070009510000, just in case you have a possible scenario you want to put forward or a take on this conversation. You can also call 0809-5974-869, and you can call us on WhatsApp or send a message or send a voice note. Either way, 009-993-0137. Has someone or rather, are you in a relationship or a situation, especially if you're married, which is the angle we're looking at today, where your partner has kept a secret from you and you realized it? How did you feel? Were you hurt? Were you okay? Did you say, anyway, life goes on? Share with us so that we can also have some scenarios where Coach can speak to when we're talking about secrets. We're also streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. You want to go to Nigeria Info Abuja on Facebook. On YouTube is Nigeria Info 95.1 Abuja. Drop your questions there, your thoughts or your contributions as well, and we get to it. So we want to see if we can do both, right? Be talking about it and taking your questions as well. So please feel free to start calling in at this time. Hello, good evening.
Hi, good evening, sis.
Oh, welcome back, Mrs. Ameza.
Thank you. Me, I don't want to talk to your own. It's English mathematics. Let me talk to the coach. Okay. Your own, you are using English to explain mathematics. You confuse us the ball, not also me. Our coach. Can you hear me, sir?
Go ahead, he can hear you.
Sis asked you, is it good to keep secret? You have not answered us.
Coach, she says you have not answered. I asked, is it good to keep secrets? And you have not answered. Please, can you answer? We are talking about husband and wife, not boyfriend and girlfriend. Okay.
Yes. No.
Okay. So Coach is about to answer. Thank you, Mrs. Ameza.
I'll ask something to say.
Okay. She's still listening. Go ahead, Coach.
Okay. So in marriage, like I said, in principle, it is not advisable. It's wrong. It's not healthy for couples, people who are married, to keep secrets from each other. It's not healthy. All right. It would show that they don't yet understand.
Okay, he sounds far away. I can't hear him. Let me just drop my question, and I will listen.
Hold on, Coach. Hold on, Coach. Hold on, Coach. She's not hearing you clearly, so let her just ask her question, and then I'll let you jump in on it. Okay.
Then I'll speak to it eventually.
Yes.
I'll be brief.
Go ahead.
For me, not everything they tell partner. So in plain mathematics and English, it's not everything you tell partner. It's not about privacy or secret. All revolves around secret. Now the question I want to ask Coach is, your ex-girlfriend asks you for money. Would you tell your wife that, babe, Mrs. Omeza asked me for money? Your parents will ask you for money. You have this money. Do you have to, every now and then, all your family problems, you will sit with your partner and say, this is it? Then finally, with the way marriage is a contract. Every contract surely comes to an end. Especially now, what is going on? We mostly live with our enemies thinking we are living with partner. Then you share everything with this person. The person is waiting for a little mistake you make. They will not expose it. This is what is happening everywhere in the country.
Okay.
Therefore, I stand my ground that not everything you share with your partner. Do the right thing.
Okay.
Many things will go carry and go grief with them. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Someza. Coach M, I just need to be sure. Did you hear her?
So I missed the last part at a bit of the beginning, but I heard the middle.
Okay.
Yeah. So do you want to do a quick summary?
Yes. Wow. My at a point there, I had like a brain freeze because of something Mrs. Omeza said. Okay. She says, first of all, please answer the question, which you will get to. Then she says, for example, your former girlfriend, your ex-girlfriend asks you for money. Would you tell your partner? Your family members ask you for money. Will you tell your partner? What else again did she say? Would you carry everything that is happening in your extended family, your parents and everything, and tell your partner? And to her, privacy and secrecy, they're the same thing. There's no distinction between them. And then she says something, which is where I had brain freeze. She said, marriage is a contract and every contract must come to an end. And so there are people that you end up with that the things that you have told them, they were just waiting to use it against you in the future. And she stands her ground that this belle, some things you must carry, go your grave. Okay. Let's get you to respond to that before we take the next call. Go ahead, boss.
Excellent. Thank you very much, madam, for that question and input. Now, so you would see why I said, ideally, right? When I was answering the question, I said, ideally, in a marriage situation, there shouldn't be secrets. Okay? So there's an ideal situation and then there's a practical situation, which is what actually happens. What makes for that ideal situation, right? So if the two people who are getting married, by all matrices, are right for each other, have same levels of maturity, same levels of understanding of what marriage is. And let me say at this point that people have largely described marriage as a contract. I want to take it a notch higher. Marriage is not a contract. Marriage is a covenant. All right? A covenant is stronger than a contract because a covenant, the only thing that will pull you out of a covenant is death. And that is what marriage is. That is why you would hear that line in every wedding ceremony you attend, till death do us part, right? So marriage is a covenant. And if I take time to expound on the meaning of that word covenant, it means basically that everything that you own, everything that you are, and everything that I am becomes fused into one. We will do anything for each other. We will stand on the same position at all times. We cannot be against each other at any time. That's what a covenant is. Your weakness becomes my weakness to protect. Your strength becomes my strength that I share in, right? So we are in for each other. Our lifetime commitment is to be there for each other, to protect each other in every way, all right? To be submissive to each other, to be accountable to each other, to grow together with each other. Are you seeing it? So that's why I said ideal case.
Wait now,
because
Coach.
Many times, yeah.
Coach, wait. So,
okay.
In my head, from the small English that I learned, when you say ideal, it's like utopia. It's like this place that can never be necessarily reached. It's like this thing that is like this beautiful castle in the sky that if only you could touch it. Yes, that's what I hear when you say ideal. But then you go ahead and explain that covenant, and this is what covenant is. So I want to understand, because when you use the word ideal versus, of course, the opposite is the realistic situation. But when you say this is what marriage is and this is the ideal situation, then in my head, what I'm hearing is it should be, but in the real world, so to speak, it is not. So ideal, is that the word we should be using here? Because if marriage is a covenant, then what you say should obtain within a covenant cannot be ideal. It should be. I don't know if I'm the one that is. Mr. Mayzy has accused me of, she says, mathematics, English. I mean, how did you put it? I'm just telling you what I'm hearing in my head. Because when people hear the word idealistic, it means that it is not attainable. It is this utopia. Attainable. Yes, that's what I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I should go and just check the meaning of idealistic right now. Because I'm not an idealist. I believe I'm a realist. But in my realist world, a marriage is a covenant. Do you understand? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Come I said, they confuse the matter again. Let me rest my case. Perhaps we should take this call while I think about it some more. Hello, good evening.
So you see, So let me tell you why I distinguished ideal from real.
Okay, sure, you could just hold that. Sorry, I have a caller, and then you would do that. So sorry. Hello, good evening.
Okay.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, welcome.
Okay, this topic people are discussing is a sensitive one. And even your Mr. Koza is trying to manage it. We understand. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Say we understand.
I'm still the way with all the grammar that we are speaking.
Go ahead, please.
The truth is that marriage is not a contract. It's a covenant, just the way he is explaining. And now you take this oath, to protect your partner in all aspects.
Could you please turn down the volume of your device? We're getting some interference. And then continue. Thank you.
Okay, now, then coming to the issue of secret now. There are secrets that when you bring them up in the name of love, you become married.
The network is giving us a hard time. It's making it difficult for us to hear you. Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Now,
hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I mean, it went quiet for a minute. Just see if you can wrap up your thoughts. Okay, all right then. Difficult network situation there. Okay, let's come back to Coach M. Coach M, you were talking about why you used the word ideal. Please, enlighten us.
So when I say ideal, I'm not talking about a state that cannot be achieved. I'm talking about by design. I'm talking about intent.
Okay.
All right. Yes. So that's what I mean when I say ideal situation, according to design. All right. I believe very strongly God himself instituted marriage. All right. And if you read through the creation story, from the whole concept of making them male and female, all right, and giving them the charge to reproduce and fill the earth, and then introducing Eve to Adam, taking her from his side, and telling her she'll be his helpmeet, all right, and then Scripture goes on to say that these two, for these cause shall a man leave his father and mother and cleave unto his wife, and both of them shall become one flesh. All right. So that is ideal. That is by design. That is by the Creator's intent. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm telling you this is what it should be.
Okay.
But then you would understand that even social sciences has a problem. In fact, one of the biggest limitations of social sciences is the fact that you are dealing with human beings who have a mind of their own and can choose to do what they want. Humans are not robots. All right. A human can tell you, I will do this now, and tomorrow will choose not to do it. And they are very much within their rights as free moral agents. I used that word one time, and you're wondering what that meant.
I think in retrospect, I understand, because even God had a hard time with us humans. I think,
exactly.
Yeah, still, Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
So the human is free moral agent. All right. And then this human has been shaped by so many factors, right from not just when they were born. Take note, there are things that begin to affect that child even prenatal stage, while they are still in the womb, right? Psychologists will tell you that there are certain traumas that people even inherit. They were not there. It wasn't them. It happened to, but the way their parents handled it at the time somehow transfers to their point of view, right? And then they just inherit it and they don't know where they got that from. So I'm just establishing that there are so many factors that impact on every human, from conception, preconception, conception, delivery, and then growing up through life and then falling in love.
Pretty much.
Do you understand? So that makes it somewhat difficult to find two people who would have that maturity to agree that this is how we are going to run our lives. Yes, a lot has happened in our past. We may never be able to get into all the stories of our past. But here and now that we are saying we want to do life together, this is what marriage entails, that we are willing to be this vulnerable and open to ourselves.
Okay.
That we are making this commitment to each other to say, my life is your life is my life. Whatever affects you affects me. Whatever affects me affects you, right? Now, that deep understanding followed by a demonstrated commitment to each other, whether in good times or in bad times. Again, that is why in every wedding ceremony, you will hear the words, in sickness and in health, in riches and in poverty,
for better, for worse, until death do us part.
And some people who don't know what they are doing will think they are doing positive confession and say, for better, for riches, for health. You are displaying gross ignorance on stage. It is not spirituality, it's not positive thinking, it's gross ignorance and immaturity. Because what that is those are the terms of the covenant, that we will stay by each other, come what may. But that, again, I always say here, marriage is not for children. All right. So when you run into this thing with just feelings, how body is doing me, how body is doing you, or you run into it, strictly thinking of what is in it for yourself, what you can get out of this thing, how you can secure yourself. There are so many wrong reasons people get into marriage. So many. You are tired of your father's house, or you say, you know what, I just need anything and anybody to come and marry me right now. And truly, somebody comes and say, I love you. You say, thank you, just marry me, let us live here. You see? And then you marry, and then tomorrow you start saying, hey, this man is this, or this woman is that. It's because he was not contracted. Now I'm using that word, but it was not the proper way. All right?
Okay.
So that's what I'm just separating ideal from practical.
I understand.
All right? So those are the reasons why the practical side looks like, it's difficult, or you cannot do this, but by design, it is meant to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where does that leave us? I'll take you back to Mrs. Omeza's questions.
So
your ex-girlfriend calls you for money. Would you tell her? Do you end up telling your... So let's look at in the ideal situation, which is the one by design, and also in the other situation where, because people didn't do the groundwork or didn't understand the groundwork that they were doing before they got into that. Yes, and you end up in that situation. So let's have you answer the questions in both scenarios. I mean, of course, on the one by design. Yes, even in that one that is by design, I'm curious about that. Even the one that is by design, should you tell them everything? Let's hear it.
So again, wisdom is the principal thing. There is a kind of money that somebody will ask me for. I don't need to bring it up as a conversation with my wife to know that I cannot give you this money. Forget about it. Do you understand? There is the kind of money that within my individuality and my wife's individuality we can spend, and it does not have any impact on us or anything. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So we're not marking each other's spend this money. What did you do for? What about this one? No, we're not doing that. We trust ourselves. Do you understand? So anybody calls me, it doesn't have to be an ex-girlfriend. Anybody calls me and needs a particular amount that is within what I have a percentage in my finances for benevolent.
Right.
I have a percentage for ministry. I have a percentage for family. I have a percentage for all of these things. And you need help within what that classification can take care of and what is in the post. I don't have to submit report card tomorrow. I have to say, see how I spend that money for benevolence. So somebody asked me for 5K, I gave him 2.5. Another one asked me for 7K, I gave him 10K. But I don't have to do that, right? So if a girlfriend is asking for money, by the way, depending on what kind of ex she is, why should I be in touch with my ex if it's a troublesome, if it's not a healthy kind of relationship? Let me put it like that.
No, wait, I'm coming. Angle. You just brought angle. Wait. I mean, I heard you clearly when you said, why should I be in touch with my ex? And I was going to say, perhaps you're not in touch with her. She's the one that is in touch with you. Then you now introduce the angle of if she is not a troublesome one. So there are levels to these things. If I heard you correctly, you can be, or there can be communication, whether you're in touch or she's in touch. There can be communication if she's not a troublesome ex.
I've maintained this always. If you had a healthy relationship with an ex, and for whatever reasons it could not become marriage, does not mean that person ceases to exist in your life and in your space.
Ochim?
Wisdom, again, should guide you to know how to establish the boundaries.
Okay.
But you see that thing where people just generalize, and once it's an ex, cut them off, delete their number. Who told you every ex is somebody you were sleeping with, or is somebody that was toxic in your life? Who told you every ex is that?
Okay.
There are many people who didn't get married strictly because of genotype, for example, or strictly because one parent did not give consent and then it started becoming a thing and then they had to part ways. Perhaps.
We're gonna have to have a conversation about the exes, Coach M, because this thing that you just said, kind of warms for some people. Kind of warms. No matter how healthy it was. So in this instance, just so that we can move on, I think in this instance, when you talked about boundaries, and of course when it's about, how much your current partner is in the know, is, of course, if you are in touch with her, she's in touch with you, as long as the communication whatsoever, of course, it should not be a secret. It should not be a secret, for one.
Yeah.
Then secondly, if this request does come up, and if it is within your spending purview, and I'm learning from some of the things you were talking about last week, where you said if it will not impact on what we are doing together as a married couple. So, okay, I get that. Again, that would bring me to matters of if it's a privacy thing or if it's a secrecy thing. So if I heard you correctly, you are not reporting, you don't have a report card to your wife. So if an ex does reach out to you and your wife is knowledgeable about this person, and at the same time what she's asking you for is not something that will make you now go and be dishonest to your wife or violate the trust of your wife, is within your own spending purview, it won't impact on your family's expenses and finances, then you are well within your rights to do that, and it doesn't have to come up in conversation. That's what you're saying?
Yeah,
okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, let's move on.
Just do that. Have to come up, and I could still choose to bring it up and say, the other day so person was in this situation, and I said her this. It could still come up, and it will come up because I know that bringing it up will not spark any
issues. Okay,
do you understand?
Because also wisdom. There's a time that you bring it up that it will spark conflict.
Talking about that thing. Wisdom is the major regulator here. Wisdom is the major regulator here. So whether it is ex, or she mentioned family members.
Yes, she mentioned family members.
So for family members, black tax is something that. By the way, black tax is that giving that you do to family members, right? Giving to family members. Hold on, I have a power outage.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so go ahead.
No, but let me just speak. Yeah.
Okay.
That is something that should be planned and agreed by the couple. All right. Husband and wife should agree. This is what we want to spend on our families. When a request comes that is not within the plan, please, you should not, to the detriment of your family, go ahead and indulge that spending without the consent of your partner.
Thank you for that. I wanted to hear that.
Yes.
I just thought it was important.
So you would discuss it and say, this is what's up. What do we do? How should we go about this? Okay, we agree that we should take from here, take from there, and do something because it's a very sensitive case. Both of you need to be in the know.
Okay.
Where you just say, I'm the man. It's my money after all. I'm the one working and I can do what I like. No, that's already unhealthy. All right?
Okay.
One partner decides that, I don't want to tell my husband, let it not look like, and then you go ahead and bear all the burden by yourself, and then it's beginning to tell on you. The man is wondering, what's happening now? You've been moody lately. Is everything okay? You now say, I'm broke. I'm broke. What about the money that I just sent you last month? Something came up. That's where it starts looking like it will become an issue, because, so that is going on with you and you didn't think I should know about it, you know, and then you now hear issues like, but I have told you this before. These people keep taking money from you. You are too soft. You are too soft.
All right.
They ask you,
Quick break, Coach M. Quick break.
Legend with a twist. Introducing Legend Twist, a stout with a twist of flavors. Smooth, bold, with a refreshing.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
Connection established.
You hear the message. Whatever is not yours, even if you kill yourself, it will not come. That's my opinion.
So do share the facts on Hard Fact.
Hard fact.
Hard Fact. 3 to 6 p.m. Live on 95.1 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Gold. Everyone wants it. That liquid gold. From the beer worthy of the name. Brewed for those who recognize true quality. From the first sip to the last, enjoyment flows. Goldberg, the gold standard.
Not for sale to persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
And that's the effort that puts them in front.
Football makes the world go round.
Got players over here inside the penalty area.
And the A-team brings it to a frenzy.
That's the sound they haven't heard in 14 months.
Then you, the fans, complete it. This is where champions are made.
One of the smallest players on the pitch who scores for the fourth time in a row against the Gunners.
This is where champions are celebrated.
And it's Kevin De Bruyne, who else?
This is the home of champions. Football frenzy. It's all about the game.
Oh, this game's the first goal of all the games that are taking place at the moment.
Catch up with the A-team on Football Frenzy. Weekdays, 7 to 10 p.m. and weekends, noon to 8 p.m. Exclusive to 95.1 Nigeria Info. Let's talk and let's celebrate football.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Tonight with Somi. We are on the couch. We have been on the couch with Coach M, and we're going to see if we can stay maybe another 15, 20 minutes tops before we wrap up the conversation today. And we have been talking about keeping secrets in marriages. Should married couples, keep secrets? I have a few messages here. Let's run through them very quickly, and then we'll get Coach to tie up the conversation in a nice little bow for us as we wrap it up. Let's see here. Chima from Apo says, when couples get married to each other, they have become one flesh and one blood. Keeping secrets from each other is not part of the marriage. Rather, it will make you feel a sense of guilt. True love is loving your partner as he or she really is. If you love your partner as he or she is, you will not keep secrets in marriages. A marriage almost crashed because a woman had a baby before marriage and hid the secret from her husband. When the man discovered, he threatened to divorce her. His anger was that his wife kept the secret from him and yet claimed to love him. I don't subscribe to keeping secrets in marriages. Chima from Apo with that one. Okay, let's see. Bro, tell her the truth, even though she refuses to accept it. Women should not be told everything. They should not be trusted with everything. They keep more destructive secrets. The statistics can prove it. I would like to see those statistics. He says they use fake love, emotional blackmail, and marriage to defraud men and many more. Men are more conscious of the game these days. And he goes on to say, at least it's a woman who called and has accepted that marriage is a contract which can end when the time is due. Marriage is pure business, nothing more. No one's opinion should be discarded because everyone is speaking from his or her own point of view. I'm trying to see your name here. I don't see a name, but thank you for your message. Please next time do well to include your name and where you're sending us a message from. At least if we are acknowledging your point of view, we should know whose point of view we're acknowledging. Send me your name if you're still listening, please. I'd like to know who I'm chatting with, okay? Marriage is first a contract before a covenant. What it is and what it ought to be are two different things, so I don't off my mic. And the last message here, Jacob Ode from Madla says, ideally secrets are not supposed to be kept in marriages, but just like your guest has rightly said, for lack of emotional, intelligent and understanding imbalance, certain issues must be concealed in order to have a healthy living. All right, I defer back to you, Coach M, as we see what we can do to tie this up in a nice little bow. Different perspectives, and honestly, we're welcome to all of them. No one is discarding anyone's point of view. You have your say on it. We have our say on it. Coach M is the professional here. He's the expert, so we let him round it up for us. Please unmute your mic so that we can hear you as you speak. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you so much. This is definitely one of those topics that elicits a lot of response, a lot of opinion. What I would tell people is this. Right from when you're still single, for those who are single, something you are doing every day is accumulating and adding up to what you would need to keep secret from your partner or what you will be free enough to talk about. So let me put it this way. Be circumspect how you live. Don't live your life carelessly because you believe you have the freedom to do so and then accumulate a lot of consequences that you now have to hide from whoever it is you're going to get married to in the future. Right? So there's what they call consequential thinking. While you're having fun, while you're living your best life, be wise enough to not accumulate a lot of complications that you will be forced to keep hidden, because if it comes out, there will be a lot of problems. That's one. Two, if you're married, I want to encourage. You're already inside. So whether you got in the right way with the right person or not, you're already married, right?
True.
I will encourage both of you to seek a harmonized vision, purpose for your marriage. All right? Why did I say that?
Please tell me why. That felt like a deviation. Please tell me
why.
There
are so many people who are married and behaving as though they are not married. They still live their lives so far apart from each other. And I mean, not physically, not only physically, all right, emotionally, spiritually. There's not the only thing that
financially,
every way. The only thing that ties them together is that at some point, people gathered and watch them say "I do" to each other, and then occasionally they have sex with each other and make babies. But every other thing about their lives are totally apart from each other. That is not the design. When you're in that kind of marriage, how would you not keep secrets now? That kind of person now listening to me, there's no way I will pass to explain that the person will say it's true. We should not keep secret because no, it is a secret something. No, there is no unity at all. There's no point where you guys are united in purpose and vision and even friendship, right? So for those kind of people, I would really encourage that you invest in getting your marriage right and fixing some of the faulty foundations. That's why we have therapists. That's why we have marriage counselors, all right? Invest in that. If not, I'm not here trying to convince anybody to do this or do that.
You're trying very hard not to, obviously.
Yeah, because I know what the responses will be. Come on. If I allow everybody to play out their own cases, their own life situation, come on now.
I think for a lot of us, the foundation is what you understand by marriage. We've heard someone say it's a contract. You've heard someone say it's a business. Your take is that it's a covenant. So it depends on what your definition is. It's your definition that will determine the action that you take in your marriage. But I have my colleague here with me in the studio. He's the man that makes all the magic. The reason why we can see you is because Gbenga is here. So Gbenga has a differing opinion on this. Please, let's hear from you, Gbenga.
So, I've always heard this notion about marriage. Your entirety becomes one, your individualism, you bring it together. And I've also heard the other side of the divide where now, will I say I mistakenly heard it from my parents, and I've also heard it from other people who married early, and they'll tell you, they now regretted marrying early because the life they would have lived if they didn't marry would have been much more beneficial to them before they now made the decision to marry. Emphasizing the fact that now that I am married, I am foregoing the vision of who I am as an individual. And I now have the responsibility to cling to this person, then we now have a together life forever. But I had a dream of who I wanted to be growing up. I have something I want to achieve. For example, quickly, the husband is a clergy, the wife is a adult or sex talk educator,
for example,
and they are married. First of all, do you think they will tell each other everything? Especially when the wife has to do one-on-one coaching, the wife has to go travel to take courses, and the harmonized purpose of the marriage is impacting life. But we are in two different segments because they can't be calling you mama in church and they go on your page and you're talking about sex.
You have
so there are individuals that come together to get married, but over the years we now hear the two shall become one. So should I now forgo what makes me me because I'm married, and then we now start living the together life? But I can still have that individual. I like what you said. There's a difference between privacy and secrets. So that's just my question. I think you get my question right.
He's nodding.
Very well.
Coach, No, don't go anywhere. Sit down here. Coach, please speak to Gbenga for me. I love the question, by the way. But go ahead. Let's hear from
thank
me.
you very much. Yeah, so you see Gbenga, let me tell you. From my practice in this space, I will say this very authoritative. I feel like there are a lot more people who get into marriage the wrong way than those who were more intentional and were properly prepared for it. Marriage does not make you lose your life, as it were, lose your individuality, lose your vision. No, it's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be. Now, what happens is that is why you need to have a sense of self, a sense of awareness, a sense of vision, a sense of purpose to now know what kind of person can do this journey with you.
Compatibility.
But what happens is that a lot of people just marry on feelings. Is 5 years into the marriage and discovering themselves. It's 10 years down the line that somebody is saying, I don't make mistake, which kind of woman I go marry? Right? So if it was properly done, so let's say you're going on a journey from Abuja, you're going on a journey by road from Abuja to Kano, and then you go to the bus park. There are buses loading Kano, but then there is this very beautiful luxury car that is going to Onitsha. And you say, I like this car, I must not miss this car. And you enter that car. You will be headed to Onitsha in a very beautiful car. Very soon you will discover that what it was you were supposed to do in Kano, you will not be able to do it because you are not there, cannot meet the people there, you cannot fulfill that, and then now you feel stuck with this person on the way to Onitsha, or right now you have arrived on Onitsha and then you're complaining. What was the problem? You did not quite know what it was that you wanted, or you were bamboozled by beauty or something else, and then you pursued something that was away from your purpose. Now, somebody who does that is the kind that will tell you, oh, it was because of marriage I forfeited my dreams. Who sent you? Who sent you? That was not supposed to be. But you were supposed to know what you were doing. You saw a beautiful car going to Onitsha, but you said, no, it's not for me. I like it, it is very beautiful, but it is not for me. And you focus on your vehicle going to Kano, you get there, and then you meet somebody else along that same path, and then somehow both of you can together do the things you are supposed to do. And when I say this, I'm not saying that couple, husband and wife must be doing the same thing. No, at all. But there is a level of agreeability between you both, that what I am doing does not stop you from doing what you have to do, and what you are doing does not stop me from doing what I have to do. And together we provide support for each other to be able to live out our best lives while we are creating the marriage that we have both dreamed of. Let me tell you, when you do it this way, which is the right way, marriage will enhance you. It will bring out the best in you, not the worst, not regret, not I had to sacrifice my dreams to get married to you. Like I said, who sent you that one?
I need to,
not the idea.
I need to come back because I picked something from his example of clergy husband married to
sex educator.
Sex educator. I know a living example.
I know one too. That's why I made the example.
I know a living example, and I can promise you,
it's not that easy.
No, the one I know, my brother is working. Oh yes, because. So you use the word sex educator, except the one you know is another thing, not educator.
He's actually educator. She even has a page.
So if this person is a sex educator, let me first of all tell you, sex is not bad.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with you talking about sex.
Mm-hmm.
So
even on the pulpit, yeah.
Exactly. Nothing wrong with you talking about sex, especially if you're doing it for educational purposes. If your purposes are different from educational, you cannot align with your clergy husband. This now becomes a situation of was unequally yoked.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
because
let me say this.
Because hello, marriage is beautiful. And one of the things that makes marriage beautiful is sex when it is done right. So if anybody is castigating Mama, as she called her, that is their business. Except it's a different thing that they're doing, not education.
Now, about the keeping of secrets part for these two that you described.
Yeah.
The nature of the assignment requires confidentiality.
Mm.
The pastor talks with people all the time. You can't be sharing everybody's secrets.
Even the lady, even the woman.
A person who is in counseling or therapy also talks to people. You cannot be disclosing their secrets. So for that one, that's where maturity comes in. Both of us understand. I cannot be telling you what I'm discussing with my clients now. Like, how is that your business?
But sir, you put a caveat there earlier on. I just want to be sure that the caveat still applies in this situation. If the thing does not impact my relationship, my marriage.
So, for example, I'm counseling with somebody. You're telling me your life issues. It does not concern my marriage.
No, wait. Now, let me give you the example that will require whether you should speak or not speak. Okay. Let me give you an example. Sex educator, Mama, right? Yeah. Someone comes to her and is what do they call it now? Wait, that's not the one I wanted. Okay, let's take the clergy. someone comes and confesses that that this person that they know is sleeping with, will I say your wife now? Or because you are hearing all sorts of things now. So I want to know whether that caveat of if it does not impact on my relationship with my wife still stands, despite the fact that their professions demand a certain level of confidentiality and secrecy.
Oh, yes. No,
in some instances, can confidentiality and secrecy be broken because it will have a direct impact on my relationship?
Also to add, in most instances, the people the pastor is counseling are the people the maman also knows. So one way or the other, conflict of interest will always arise. I leave.
Okay, thank you. But I mean,
so you see why?
Yes.
You see why this is a game for mature minds.
Mm.
All right. Really, if you are in the practice, there is no. I'm trying to think of the kind of situation that will make me go and disclose to my wife what I'm discussing with my clients. It's not, and she won't bother asking. She won't bother prying. It's
okay.
It's like, I mean, why? Do you understand? There is no chance for that coming up. All right.
Okay.
So if both of them understand that, all right, unless it's something that now impacts on the rest of the church for which all of them are a part of, and then somehow they have to deal with it so that it doesn't go out of hand, stuff like that. But if not, if it's someone's private issue, then it stays private between you and your counselor, all right, or your clergy.
I have a call.
But again, that my caveat stands, so until if that thing is going to have impact on your home, then you have to talk about it.
Okay.
Yes, you have to.
Confidentiality or no?
Yeah, so you're hiding it, and then tomorrow she hears from somewhere else. She will bring it to the table now and say, how far?
And you say, but my profession demands that I keep these things away from me.
No.
Let's take this call.
Then you need to discuss it.
Okay, so let's take the call then. Hello, good evening.
This is Mr. Venga. God bless you. We're on the same page. But the truth is, at the end of the day, whichever works for you, you should pick it. You will not say this manual that you are using in your home, you must give it to another person. But the truth of the matter is, our co-chair, you say marriage is a covenant. And our madam said, these people are happy. Man, when you see people putting on ashwebi, they are laughing. You really don't know what they go through at home. Only your own, Marriage is one institution that is so difficult to explain. Very few people are indeed enjoying what you call marriage. Most people are enduring it. Why? Because we live because of what we will get, not because we love our partner. So do not allow anybody to confuse or deceive you. Brothers and sisters, look inward before you say anything to your partner. I rest my case. Thank you for the permission to hang out with you people today. Coach, I enjoy your talk. You don't use English, but you never answer my question.
He has answered your question. Mrs. Somi, he has answered your question. He has. Honestly. But I honestly really believe, she said something. She says, whatever works for you. And, some people are in marriages and they have decided to live with whatever it is that comes at them, whether they like it or not. And that's why she said they're enduring it. I will differ, though, with the statement that she made when she said, in most marriages, people are enduring. No, how did she put it? I think she alluded to the fact that more marriages are, wired in this way, as opposed to the way they should be. And let me just say this right now, for the purpose of these conversations we have, and pretty much every conversation we have on the Tonight Show, I think sometimes the issue is we're so used to what we see. And even though these things are not what they should be, we have settled for what they are now, that we refuse to acknowledge and recognize and even try and work towards what they should be. So, by all means, define your marriage as you want to define it. That does not mean that by design, it was not created to be a certain type of way.
Excellent.
Define it the way you want to define. You see, it is the way you lay your bed that you will lie on it. So, feel free to define it as what you want to. It does not take away from the fact that what it was designed to be is what it was designed to be. So if you decide that you want it to be a business, by all means, lay your bed that way, lie on it, and take whatever comes with it. If you decide you want it to be a covenant, lay it that way, lie on it, and take whatever comes with it. You want to know that when you wake up every morning, there is yes, it is not a I woke up on right side, wrong side. You woke up on the bed as you laid it. And that is why we have the conversations we have. I've said so many times, even when we're talking about bonded, conversations on family, the problems that we see to a large extent in our society today is as a result of what is happening in our families. And if we don't understand what it should be and what it should look like, we will continue to have those problems. And those problems will continue to bleed into the larger society. And we'll wake up every day complaining and saying, oh, the government, oh, the this, oh, the that. Coach has said it, even though I always try to do that with Coach, and I'm grateful for him. He gives me the opportunity to do that every time. I try to twist him into giving some sort of an answer, but he's very, very wise. Honestly, wisdom has profitably directed you because he will always find a way to avoid it. But we are having these conversations because there is a direct correlation to what we are seeing in the way families are formed, in the way people come together to become husband and wife, and they raise their children, and they build families and move. There is a direct correlation between that and the society. So, call it what you want to call it, but know that by design, this is what it is meant to be. And if you dare to muddy your legs, to get into the waters and dig deep through all the trauma and this and that and everything, the way I was born, the way I was raised and all of that, if you dare to get into those waters and say, I will come out on the other side and I will come out correct. So that even if I was raised in a family where my parents kept secrets, as long as the secrets did not impact on my family, no problem. I want to continue that way, I'll continue. But if I saw that it impacted on how we turned out as a family, and you decide you want to do better, then you could take some of what we have shared on the conversation since we started talking last week. And you could decide that you don't want it to be anything but a covenant. You don't want it to be anything other than what it was designed to be. Because I promise you, there are so many families that have this structure where it is by design and they're living in that design and they are better off for it. I cannot, for the life of me, I cannot get over someone who's very, very dear to me. She celebrated her 70th birthday over the weekend. When she's talking about what she and her husband did from the foundation, something you talked about, Coach M, that I had to go back and research on, and it was interesting when she brought it up. That thing you said about having a joint vision, a vision as a family. When this woman, 70-year-old, she's lost her husband, by the way, but every time she talks about him, there's a smile on their face. From the very beginning, before they even got married, when they were dating, they decided, take time out and figure out who I am, who you are, and how and if these two personalities that we are can blend in to become one, so that we have a vision as a family, so that even if something happens along the line that brings about conflict in the relationship, we think outside of ourselves and we're thinking of what we have been called to do as a couple, right? And she's talking about that thing, and she's ready till tomorrow. Even though her husband has gone to be with the Lord, she's still carrying that vision. She's 70 years old. If you see the people that turn out for this woman, you will know that it is because she was able to come from this union with this person. For her, it was not a business. And guess what? Her life was not rosy. She had children. Her children have children. At some points, they had challenges. But because I could see and I could tell from when she's talking about it and her husband and, celebrating her 70th and all, I could tell that there was a thing about their union, about their marriages that makes her still keep going, even at 70.
That's right. That's right. Let me say this very quick.
Yes.
It's important that couples hold themselves to the highest levels of responsibility and accountability through their partners. If you know that what you are doing or what you're contemplating is not something you can discuss with your partner, then why go ahead with it? If you know that thought, that action, whatever it is tough, that if it gets out, it's going to be detrimental to your union or to the peace in your marriage, then why still go ahead with it? All right? So hold yourselves to the highest levels of responsibility and accountability. All right? So that you don't have to be answering the question of what should be a secret or what should not be. You would live life in a way that you are free with each other. You talk about anything and everything that needs to be talked about, and there is no judgment among yourselves. There is no judgment. All right. These things are grown into, these things are taught. All right. Let me use this opportunity also to let people know that marriage is not a mystery. It's not the way people think about it, that marriage is just one thing that you're so indefinite. No, you can be definite about how your marriage will be. Let me tell you, people have conquered chemistry, people have conquered physics, conquered further mathematics, conquered very complex situations. There's rocket science that has been conquered. There is nothing difficult that has not been conquered. Don't think that marriage is a mystery. You can learn how. I say it authoritatively. You can learn how to have a sweet marriage and it will work for you. You can. All right. Maybe we'll talk about that some other time. But I just wanted to drop that there. If there's any single out there who's hearing me, don't be scared. That is why people like us are here. We can show you the road.
You know what's interesting? The last message that came in says, my prediction and reason why I may never get married are becoming more certain by the day. I've not been able to answer the question of why I should get married at 3 decades plus years now. I have to accept the reality that perhaps I was not made for that. And you know what?
Therapy.
No, see, here's what I think. Honestly, if you want to know my honest thoughts on this comment, Coach, I don't judge him. I don't judge. You haven't told me who you are, but I have a strong feeling it's a him. I don't judge you for that. I don't think anybody should judge you for that. If you feel like you're not made for it, for the institution, I think you're well within your rights to think that. I've had conversations with lots of young men who, at some point in their life, were at that place where they said, if it's children, I will just find someone and have a baby for me, and then I'll move on. No judgment there, because until really and truly in your mind you understand what it is and how it should be and commit to doing that, nobody should make you get married at all. Honestly, leave it there.
Absolutely.
Leave it there.
Yeah.
So by all means,
nobody should make you get married.
If by all means you are in that place and you are thinking, it's not for me, my brother, leave it. There are women who are thinking that too. Society is a lot more harsh on women who think that way, because they expect that the natural life progression of a woman is get married and have kids. If you're a woman and you think that you cannot deliver to what marriage should be by design, or you decide, I don't want to do it by design, I want to do it the way I want to do it, everybody make your bed, lay on it, and take the consequences. And sometimes, who knows, the consequences may not even be as grave as some people make it sound. So, kudos to you all. We have to let it go at this point. It's 11:29 p.m. Thank you so much, Coach Mayzy. God bless you. I appreciate you. I'd say this very quickly. If you still want some information about this or clarity, or you want Coach Mayzy to address this for you, he made a point about therapy, because there's some people that deep down might want to do this by design, but all the various factors which he mentioned earlier on somehow just keep bringing them back to the point where they think it is this thing that is out of reach. You can send a message. Coach Mayzy is Coach Mayzy across all the platforms. You can reach in there, or you can send me a message via my email. It's somi@nigeriainfo.fm. You feel like you need to touch on this a little bit more, have him provide some perspective to you, reach out and we'll take it up from there. But thank you so much, Coach M, for doing this with us every Monday.
Always a pleasure being here. Thank you very much.
Then. I need to ask, where's the little man? I didn't see him today.
Oh, he had to sleep before.
He's
before I showed
okay.
up today.
All right then. Well, my regards to the family. Have a lovely night. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
okay.
You too. Yeah, bye.
And there we have it, our conversation on secrets in marriages. It started out as secrets in general. We talked largely about couples who are yet to be married last week, and we have done the best that we can, I believe, to some extent, of speaking about married couples. And you heard everything there is to say about that. So let's get a move on. It is 11:31 p.m. Special thank you to everyone who contributed to the conversation so far. We appreciate you. We see you. We hear you. There's this voice note. Forgive me. I meant to play it. I'll just play it real quick. And then, but while I'm playing it, please start sending your song requests. Today is Monday. That means we're doing R&B and soulful songs. So start sending them in. And I will, as much as possible, play them for your listening pleasure. It's the last day of the month. Let's make it count.
Semi. Oh, he is my name.